Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 preview series where we're going to cover Cloud9, the 2 seed from North America, the LCS. Historically, the 2 seed from the LCS the last 3 years has not gotten out of group stage. Keep in mind, the format is different this year, but nevertheless, the 2 seed from North America has not gotten to the top 8. Cloud9 have been a representative of the LCS the last 2 tournaments in some fashion. Their coach is Mithy. Mithy, in his career as a coach internationally, is 25 and 30. He was a support in the past, so he has international experience as a player as well. In Worlds 2020 and 21 with Cloud9, he would get to the top 8. At MSI 21 and 23, he would finish in the 5th, 6th place, part of the Rumble stage, the knockout stage this past year. So he has been able to get the team to the upper tier, if you will, of the event. We'll see if that holds true in Worlds 2023. The average age of this roster is 22.4 years old. It is not super old. Budge is 21 and has a lot of experience despite being only 21 years old. A 3.4 KDA, 8.3 CS per minute, 62.3 KP in the LCS this past split. Definitely, keep this in mind, I think Zeus is much better than Fudge. But these numbers, however, give me a similar vibe of Fudge is better than these numbers indicate relative to the players in his region. Very high KP given the CS numbers, though, over 3 out of every 5 kills. We see a lot of players with less KP and less farm. 407 gold per minute is 21% of the team's gold. 515 damage per minute is 22.5% of the team's damage, so there is a little bit of a carry vibe from time to time in top lane. Fudge was not overly dominant at 15 minutes, on average up 25 gold, 1 CS, 50 XP. Only 6 solo kills in 29 games and played 9 different champions, so he does have a wide champion pool. This past year, 9 and 29 is better than who we just went over yesterday with Rest, who had 9 and 41, but you'd like it to be maybe a little bit higher if it calls for it. Internationally, Fudge is 22 and 33 over his career. Worlds 2019 out in play-ins, that was when he was still in Australia. In 2021, out in quarters, 22 out in groups. MSI 21 and 23, 5th, 6th place. Now, across these 55 games, something big that happened last year that I thought was concerning was him continuing to pick like Fiora and things like that, and then just getting smoked by Flandre and Zeus in group stage. And it was like, play the Ornn, play facilitators, weak side, allow Berserker to carry, and it just really never happened. So I really hope that we fall on the sword if it calls for it this event. Internationally, in the 55 games, he has a 1.9 KDA, 7.8 CS per minute, 57.9 KP. So there is drop off for sure when he plays better competition. 380 gold per minute, 408 damage per minute. On average is behind 312 gold, 4 CS, and 58 XP at 15 minutes. However, he does have 24 solo kills in those 55 games, so there is aggression there. He gets after his lane opponents and does outplay them pretty regularly, honestly. And still as a young player, we've seen a lot of him, so I feel like people have a vibe for what he is and what he offers for a team. But his age also indicates that there is time for growth still. And I think we need to really, keep that in mind. In the jungle is Blabber. In my opinion, Blabber really stepped it up for me this past year. This split in particular, he has taken on a carry-oriented role, and that is the vibe that this team has that I felt like it didn't have last year, and maybe it allows them to play a little differently at Worlds, a little unpredictably, if you will. 4.5 KDA, 6.6 CS per minute, 75.2 KP. So a lot of resources and a lot of involvement, which is excellent out of a jungler. He's out farming your average jungler at this tournament and being involved more when it comes to kills. 385 gold per minute is 19.7% of the team's gold, so a lot like Shun when it comes to gold allocation. 435 damage per minute is 18.2% of damage. That's 5.5% more than Gemini yesterday. On average, he crushed, absolutely crushed LCS junglers in the first 15 minutes. He was up 465 gold, 15 CS, 520 XP across 29 games, 5 solo kills, and 10 champions played. Very carry oriented, farm until 15 minutes and then make things happen. Internationally, he's 26-34 in his career. Worlds 2018 out in semifinals, 21 quarters, 19-22 out in group stage. MSI 21-23 out in 5th, 6th spot. Amongst those 60 games, he's a 2.2 KDA, 6.2 CS per minute, 70.9 KP. He does not look out of place. He is world class. 352 gold per minute, 339 damage per minute. On average, internationally, he's ahead of his opposition jungler. Up 187 gold, 6 CS, 213 XP, 7 solo kills in those 60 games. So Blabber does get ahead. Now, can he turn that into a win? 26-34. But he does get ahead of the average jungler on the opposite side. Mid lane, we have Eminez. Now, I'm not going to talk about the drama with Eminez. I'm not even going to discuss that. 22 years old. He is a rookie when it comes to the international. That's not true at all. Just 1 second. All right. Eminez, a rookie. But he did go to MSI. So, obviously, this was not on the board before, his MSI stats. We don't redo videos here. So, corrected that. Now, Eminez domestically, 4.6 KDA, 8.8 CS per minute, 71.3 KP. He is very good domestically, one of the better mid laners we have in the LCS. Very lane dominant. Now, he does into space off from time to time, very coin flippy as well. 434 gold per minute is 22.4% of the team's gold, and 660 damage per minute, which is 28% of the damage. He leads the way when it comes to damage on this team. On average, he does not open up leads at 15 minutes. 145 gold up, 65 XP, 11 solo kills, 14 champions in 29 games. So wide champion pool, that has to be noted. He will play a lot of different things in mid, and that's a vibe, right? So, like I said, with Blabber offering carry-oriented champions again, Eminez offers a lot in mid as well. That unpredictability can give you opportunities to maybe get a draft diffy and maybe steal a win. Now, internationally, at MSI 2023, finishing 5th, 6th, he'd go 3-7. That aggression was not there. Very passive. Definitely, Eminez, I think if I've listened to interviews, I recall him having some nervousness and some anxiety. Just making sure I'm still recording. I am. Some nervousness and anxiety. And I think these numbers are indicative of that. So 2.7 KDA, 8 CS per minute, 57.4 KP, only 363 gold per minute, and 445 damage per minute. On average, internationally, he was down 200 gold, 6 CS, and 25 XP, 5 solo kills in 10 games. So there was that aggression when it came to solo kills, but nevertheless, still behind your average, well, not your average, international opponents. And obviously at MSI, you had Knight, you had Faker, Yagao, and Chovy, just to name a few. Caps, Niski, Gory, like, those were really, really tough opponents, right? Berserker, 80 carry. We need a better performance. Last year at Worlds, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said this is huge for his development at only 19 years old. And there were moments where he showed a lot of restraint, and it probably hurt the team. Like you compare, I've talked about Brance a few times. I'll talk about him again. High DPM, very aggressive, balls to the wall, throws it out there and sees what sticks. Where Berserker, more passive when he knew the game was getting out of hand and just not dying, finding farm. And this past split, in the LCS, I thought Berserker left a lot to be desired. I thought the bot lane of C9 did, really. As the mid jungle start taking over in terms of, like, you know, I want to say attention and resources, Berserker, I mean, 7.3 KDA, 9.8 CS per minute. Those are excellent numbers, right? Great KDA, doesn't die. Like I said, very passive sometimes. 9.8 CS per minute, still gets his gold. 65.8 KP, 464 damage per minute. Still get 464 gold per minute. Still gets the most gold on the team at 24%. However, 592 damage per minute is 24.6% of the damage, so he is the secondary carry on this team when it comes to dealing damage. On average, also gets ahead of 15 minutes, 200 gold, 7 CS, 105 XP, 3 solo kills, 10 champions in 29 games. Internationally, he's 4-12, Worlds 22, out in groups, MSI 23, 5th, 6th. Has a 2 KDA, 9.2 CS per minute, 59 KP at those events. 412 gold per minute, 445 damage per minute. On average, up 50 gold, 3 CS, 35 XP. So slight leads at 15 minutes against the opposition at international events. Very slight, arguably negligent, but at the same time, at his age, not getting smoke showed is probably a good sign. And, well, we'll see. Like I said, he needs to take the next step. I need to see more out of him this Worlds. Sven, the oldest player on the team at 26, 4.6 KDA, 76.3 KP this past split. Really is coming into his own as a support. He looks very good out there, to be quite honest with you. 312 vision score per minute. On average, places 7 to 8 wards every 5 minutes. Only 1 control ward every 4 minutes, roughly. That's very low. But we've seen, and I mean, even LS, I believe, we've seen a lot of talk about how control wards, you know, are too often bought, frankly, and a waste of gold oftentimes. Sven, not using that many. Definitely less than most supports, if not all of them at this event, and still clears the same amount of wards as most supports at the event, 2 out of every 5. 11 champions in 29 games. Internationally, this includes 80 carry in terms of his results, 39 and 54. Worlds 2015 semifinals, 21 quarterfinals, 2016, 17, and 22 would be out in group stage. MSI 17, second place, and 21, 23, 5th, 6th. His support stats at Worlds last year and MSI this past split, not that strong. Keep in mind, my KDA is different than your average KDA. A lot of people like to consider kills and assists equal. I consider assists as half in my KDA. So 0.9 KDA, 64.1 KP. Still pretty much 3 vision score per minute. Places 8 wards every 5 minutes. 2 control wards every 5 minutes. And clears 1 every 4 minutes. So vision numbers not as strong internationally, but that also takes into account last Worlds where he was relatively new still, right, at support. And MSI 2023, he was against very, very good opponents. That's without a doubt. So, you know, take it for what it is. We'll see if that bot lane can get it together at a higher level than they did in summer at this event. We'll see if Eminez and that drama and whatever ends up working itself out. And, yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And I hope to see you again tomorrow.